Hi, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us. I'm Kerry Flynn, media reporter at Axios, Sarah's lovely colleague, and I'm here joined by Mark Douglas, founder and CEO of Mountain. You're just a leader in performance marketing and tech-driven storytelling. It's an honor to have you on our stage today.
Well, thank you.
What I want to kick off with is you guys had some big news recently, as in you IPO'd the company.
Yeah, we IPO'd 3 weeks ago on New York Stock Exchange.
So walk me through why now for the IPO, and also like how right now, I know it's still early, but how are you balancing having obviously such a big long-term vision with now the short-term pressures of running a public company?
Yeah, so one, it wasn't easy to get out in this market. You literally, the IPO company right now is day by day kind of conversations. We got it done right before Memorial Day weekend. It was an intense process that we had spent quite a bit of time on. The reason we did it is because it's probably the key stat about Mountain's business is we obviously we democratize streaming TV advertising for small, mid-sized businesses. 96% of our customers have never advertised on television before. So I think I'm not sure there's another company in this industry that's even 10%. And what they're focused on is driving revenue for their business. They don't view it as an ad budget. They view it as a revenue budget. How much revenue can I drive from this channel? And so if they're banking their revenue on us, it was important that they could see our revenue. They could see our growth. They could have transparency in what we're doing, because they're literally risking their year. They're saying, I'm going to spend so much on Google, Meta, now Mountain, and that's why it was important for us to go out.
96%. I think anecdotally, I watch a lot of TV,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing advertisers that I didn't expect to advertise, and now in the back of my mind, I'm like, is that Mountain? Like, did Mountain do that?
Hopefully, the concept of performance television, when we launched what we call the Mountain Performance TV platform, I said to the team, the easiest way to win a market is to create that market. And then we win the market we created. And that's what we set out to do. And so from our perspective, we created the performance TV market, and hopefully those are Mountain customers, you're saying.
So I'm curious, obviously we're at Cannes, all about creativity. The topic of this session is all about attention. I'm wondering, you work with a lot of brands, you help create a lot of TV ads. What have you noticed about what really captures attention best in the TV landscape?
Honestly, it's pretty quick. So it's going with the thing that comes to mind first. So one of the things we did early is we teamed up with Ryan Reynolds, which came about very organically. We didn't wake up and say, we need a celebrity or anything like that. The two of us got introduced. Ryan loves to create. And so, when I first met him, he told me, it took him 8 years to make Deadpool, but he can create a 30-second commercial. Literally, I've seen him do it over text messages. Just send some text messages and 2 days later, the commercial is filmed. So for him, it's an outlet of creativity. But the reason it happens so fast is because he calls it fast-vertising. It's just like first thought, culturally relevant, in the moment. It won't necessarily always hit, but often it does, and I think that can be true for any brand. Just like bring a lot of the things you would probably do on social, but bring it into streaming TV is probably the thing I would recommend most, and it's going to work for you.
So clearly Ryan is such a star. I think that would shake a lot of the people here that it 30 seconds to make a TV ad. What?
Yeah.
Are there brands or a campaign that you can call out again that has done great work besides Ryan himself?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's Third Love is one of our customers. One Wheel is one of my favorite customers. They sell a single wheel skateboard. And I always like to tell them, your tagline should be, you could kill yourself on this thing, and you should just emphasize that.
I see the ad now.
So, I mean, just speak to the people that are going to be entertained. What's really also critical is, it doesn't matter what ad you create if you don't deliver it to the right person. And the smaller the brand, the more important that is. And that's something that's been mastered for search and social, and is only now, that's the most important part of our business, is whatever creative you build, it's we have to deliver it to your next 1,000 customers, right? And that is such a critical piece. So, whatever you say to them, if it's interesting, if it's going to the right person, it's probably going to work.
There's been some attacks recently, I will say, by certain tech CEOs on advertising agencies. I'm curious your view on how Mountain works with ad agencies and the value that they bring to what you do, because again, you have Ryan Reynolds creating TV ads in 30 seconds. So like, what are the ad agencies doing?
Well, I think so Mountain, we work primarily with independent agencies, but increasingly we're building partnerships with some of the big holding companies. And I think for the larger, for not even just larger brands, I think for any brand, it's still important to have a strategy. And the media buying execution may become a smaller part of what they do in terms of just the sheer effort involved in that. But I think the strategy behind that increasingly is going to be about identifying who is your actual customer and how do we, the age of broadcasting is over, right? So it's all about audiences. And a lot of what's called audiences, like I'll see audiences built in something in certain systems, and there's 60 million households. There's 140 million households in the U.S. Is that really an audience? I mean, I think you can make that a little smaller and have it hit, like really reach the right people. So I think the media buying is going to, I think, become less prevalent because it's going to become more automated. But knowing who the customer is, reaching them, identifying them, and then kind of finding them with the right technology. This is an area I'd like to talk about Meta. Meta is so good at targeting. Everyone in this room probably thinks Meta's listening to conversations with Instagram. I promise you, they are not wiretapping everyone on the planet. That would be the biggest scandal possibly. Maybe not that big for Meta, but but they are not wiretapping everyone. That's just a really good example of pinpointing who the consumer is. You do that well, drives revenue. It builds a big business.
Well, interesting you bring up Meta, because that's essentially who I was referencing, who sees no value of ad agencies. But I love...
someone from
we'll
Meta
talk
right
more
here.
about it later. Well, as we talked about, they obviously provide strategy, and I loved your answer, so
Right.
thank you for sharing that. What I'm wondering, again, we're speaking to marketers, what advice would you give a marketer who's dealing with the issue of performance-based versus brand, right? It's just, that's something I feel like I was spending all last year talking about, and then I heard people use the word brandformance. What do you think about that? And how do you think really, is there this stress if you can't do both?
No, I think you have to, Mountain, we have a Formula One partnership, and we literally say performance in the name of our product. So there's a role for both of those. So we have a performance marketing team and we have a brand marketing team, and both play a role in the business, but they work really closely together. That's the key. I think a lot, those have been, I know for most of the time, Mountain, we've been in market, it's like we don't talk to one marketing team. There's always like, well, go talk to them. And that's like the performance folks who are doing search and social. Now streaming TV, all of it I think is coming together. And it's coming more around the audiences, like what I was saying before, is that the old adage, I know I'm wasting half my budget, I just don't know which half. Well, if you're hitting the right audience, you don't have to waste any of it. And so I think even the brand teams are really getting pressured to kind of like spend the right amount of money, do the right activities, do the right activations, and everything should have a measurable outcome. And that's important because the performance marketers are often spreadsheet jockeys, and like you don't want them doing your creative or anything like that. So, they all play a role.
What's an emerging ad format that you're excited by? I hear a lot about QR codes. I'm seeing a lot of QR codes. That's the thing. But anything else you'd note about what's really like exciting that's happening that you're working with partners on?
Well, I put it more as a trend. We play with QR codes. The response rates on them are not very good, at least not yet. It doesn't mean they'll never be good, but they're kind of not there yet. Maybe with pause ads, you pause and it pops up a QR that might work a little better, so we're testing. What I see as an emerging trend is as the creative is becoming harder to differentiate. AI creative tools really are coming on board pretty quickly, and the quality is improving literally by the month. what we're seeing happening as a brand, if it's going to be harder to differentiate with creative, where else can I find those differentiators? I think social media influencers are going to start to play a much bigger role in streaming TV, and that there's a convergence that is starting to happen between social and the influences in social and the television ecosystem. And it's really nascent right now, but I'm hearing a lot of our customers ask about, like they'll ask questions like, can I use a social media influencer at TV? I'm like, yeah, of course, you can be in the TV ad, whoever you want. But there's a real desire to bring, like if the AI is going to create really fast average ads, then maybe creators can help take my brand beyond that. I think that's a trend that's not being talked about yet.
Agreed. Again, as I shared, I watch a lot of television. I see these ads. I'm like, how do I know that person? I'm like, oh, I've seen them on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the best Super Bowl ads I think was Poppy, and that ad, I feel like it's like the social media campaign that didn't just sell the product, it sold the company. The company got acquired like 2 months later.
Impressive what ads can do.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to, obviously this whole conversation has been fun, but I want to end on one fun thing. You told me that you guys brought something special with you to Cannes this year. Tell us more.
Yeah, well, we have a billboard out there it's rosé all day in Cannes, and so it's Roaz all day from Mountain, and we combined the two, and we teamed up with John Bon Jovi's rosé brand, Hampton Water, because you drink it like water, and I think they're going to be serving it here and all over Cannes.
Well, thank you, Mark. I think you, me, and Meta are going to go drink some rosé.
There you go.
Thanks so much again. And stick around. Stay tuned for more programming. Oh, my gosh, we have it. All right, let's crack this open. We'll drink it in the back.
All right.
Thank you again, Mark.